In the year 1219, a shadow fell over the world that no light could pierce. From the frozen reaches of the Great Steppe, a name began to echo in the halls of every palace from China to the borders of Europe: Genghis Khan. He was not merely a man. He was a phenomenon of destruction, the scourge of God. The world had never seen anything like the Mongol war machine. They moved faster than the wind, their horses never tiring, their bows never missing. When a Mongol army arrived at a city, they gave one choice: surrender and become slaves, or resist and be erased from the book of life. Entire civilizations, nations that had stood for 1,000 years, were turned into silent fields of bone in a single season of war. To the people of the 13th century, it felt like the end of days. The Mongols did not just want your land, they wanted your fear. They built pyramids out of the skulls of those who dared to look them in the eye. This was the monster moving toward the gates of the Islamic world, a monster that had never known defeat, a monster that believed the entire earth belonged to him. But while the rest of the world trembled, the Khwarezmian Empire stood tall. This was a land of giants, a civilization of turquoise domes, deep faith, and warriors who feared nothing but the Creator. Its capital, Gurganj, was a miracle of the Silk Road, a place of high science, ancient honor, and unmatched architectural beauty. When Genghis Khan sent a caravan of 450 merchants, he claimed he sought trade and peace. But Sultan Mohammed and the hero prince Jalal al-Din were no fools. They saw the spies hidden among the silk. They saw the Mongol thirst for blood and their hidden maps of the city's defenses. They stood for the sovereignty of their people. They refused to be bullied or intimidated by a distant warlord. When the Khan's ambassadors arrived, demanding that a Khwarezmian governor be handed over like a criminal, the Sultan responded with the courage of a lion. He chose honor over a coward's peace. He chose his people's dignity over humiliation. He sent the messengers back with a message of defiance that would change the course of history. We do not bow to men of the steppe. We bow only to God. The Sultan knew that by standing his ground, he was inviting a hurricane of iron into his house. But for a Khwarezmian, a life without honor was no life at all. The storm was coming, and the lions were ready to meet it. The Mongols struck with the force of 1,000 hammers. City after city fell, but at the gates of Gurganj, the unstoppable met the unbreakable. For 7 grueling months, the world's most terrifying army was held at bay. The Mongols unleashed catapults that rained fire and rams that shook the earth's foundations. But the defenders did not flinch. Every citizen became a soldier. Every home became a fortress. When the walls finally crumbled under the weight of 1,000 engines, the Mongols expected a broken people. Instead, they found a city that fought harder in its ruins than it did in its glory. The Khwarezmians fought for every street, every house, and every narrow alleyway. They used stones, knives, and their bare hands to protect their families. The Mongols were baffled. They had never seen a people who preferred to die in the rubble of their homes than live in the chains of a conqueror. The bravery of Gurganj forced the Khan's own sons to tremble in frustration. It was a house-to-house nightmare for the invaders, where the defenders fought with the fury of martyrs and the heart of the faithful. Unable to win the battle of hearts through steel, the Mongols resorted to an act of ultimate cowardice. They realized they could not conquer the spirit of Gurganj, so they decided to erase its existence. They turned their engineers to the Amu Darya River, forcing thousands of captives to labor under the lash to divert the river's path. They built a massive dam, holding back the weight of the world's water, and then they broke it. It was the greatest admission of defeat in military history. They had to drown the city because they were not strong enough to defeat its soul. As the roar of the water filled the air, a colossal wall of black water rushed toward the gates. The defenders did not run. They stood on their ramparts, their prayers rising louder than the rushing flood. They chose a watery grave over the chains of slavery. Gurganj vanished beneath the waves, but its honor was preserved forever in the depths. Sultan Jalal al-Din escaped the waves to lead a legendary resistance, becoming the only warrior Genghis Khan ever truly respected. Today, the city is gone, but the story of the lion's defiance remains. They chose the water over the chains, and in their sacrifice, they showed the world that true power is not found in empires, but in the courage to stand for the truth. The city was drowned, but the lion was unleashed. Jalal al-Din would spend the rest of his days as a phantom in the mountains, shattering Mongol legions in a vengeful fire that even Genghis Khan could not extinguish.